Welcome to Chasing North, a podcast for purpose-driven professionals, entrepreneurs, and changemakers who know that real success isn't just about status, it's about alignment. I'm your host, Christin Mack, business leader, lifelong learner, and someone who believes that the most powerful journeys are often the most personal. Here, we dive into real conversations with real people, exploring personal growth, leadership, conscious business, and the deeper motivations behind impactful success. Let's get curious together, because every path holds power and your worth is not up for debate. Hello, and thank you for joining me for another episode of Chasing North. I'm really excited because today I am here with Jean Grimes. She is an incredible human being, but she's also a real estate agent here in Arizona, so we're going to get some information about that. But she's also just got a huge heart and does a ton for the community, and so we're going to touch on that today too. So Jean, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. This is awesome.
For saying yes. And so you're an Arizona real estate agent.
I am.
And so what are some things that you're noticing about the market currently in our little state here?
Well, it is kind of slow, but not really. So summers are usually hot, so we always expect it to slow down because of the heat. But, everybody's complaining about the interest rates. When are they going to drop? But we still have a lot of movement too. So, it's just one of those things. It's kind of plateaued, but I'm expecting the fall it's going to pick up and be very busy. If we get that little drop on that interest rate that they're promising us, it's going to go crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what do you do to stay motivated? Because I've talked with several people about what's going on in the market? How is it? And that kind of stuff. And I just keep getting the response of weird.
Yeah.
It's weird out there. And I know you and I have shared a couple conversations privately about how your business has been a little weird too. So what do you do to stay motivated and keep doing the things that you need to do? Because it's probably not easy every day.
No, every day I want to quit. So I'm just going to be honest about it. No, we just see a lot more challenges lately. And the people that are coming into the marketplace are, they expect a lot. So, the sellers expect it to be a seller's market, and the buyers expect the sellers to pay for everything. So it's, to get that to mesh is a very, again, weird and interesting thing, but it does happen. So, I am still selling. I am, there's still buyers out there that are buying property. So it just, honestly, it really depends. So,
yeah.
But to keep myself motivated, I love people. So I think if you're just out there and you let them know what you do, business is going to come. So I just had a call today. I do client appreciation events, and I just had a client call me today and said, hey, we're thinking we're going to move in 6 months. We want to buy a new build. I'm like, awesome. So things are happening. Life happens. People, they have to move. Things change. People get divorced. People die. Things happen, People have kids. They have to upsize. So, yeah.
Life events.
That's it. Yeah.
Because not everybody just wakes up one morning and says, I'm going to just sell my house today. That's just not necessarily how that works. Sometimes it does, but oftentimes it's a life event.
Yeah.
And so what is a strategy that you use in staying in touch with those people? How do you know when it's time?
Follow up. I always say follow up. So again, stay in touch. I do 2 major events for my clients every year. I do one in the summer and then one in the winter, which is really great. And I get a lot of people that come back. I have my regulars. I've had people from when I first started in the business still come to my events, and I still work with them, their families. Their kids are buying stuff now. It is crazy.
You aren't old enough to have been in the business that long.
I'm old. Let me tell you, 20 years. It's like, woo-wee. But yeah, so it's kind of cool to see that evolution of who's buying, who's selling. Because when we get to the point, my daughter just graduated this year. It's like, what happened, Eventually, she's going to buy in a couple years, So it's one of those things. But I love it when I have that repeat business and that rapport and the referrals. So it's always good.
And is that the main source of your business? Do you do any other activities to find new business or get new business?
I'm always about the community. And I love community events. So I try to stay relevant in my community and my 2 farm areas. I'm relevant with the schools. I love I just love people. That's it. I love seeing things and making things happen. So,
Yeah.
and wherever I can help out too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've always admired that about you. You've always been an inspiration for me because you are very creative with how you fundraise or give back or do drives and things like that. So has it always been a passion of yours? And if so, like, where does that come from?
So I'm going to tell you this. This is very interesting. So when my kids were born, I joined the PTSO. And I have always been a PTSO mom. It's like when you have to go out and do those events for the school, it's like it comes naturally. And ever since I started doing that, I do it for everybody now. So, and my husband hates it.
Oh, no. What does he hate it?
No, because I'm gone all the time. I like to do events. And then he has to, participate too. Like if I have a movie event for a subdivision, he'll have to go out there and set up the equipment because I have no idea what I'm doing.
Well, that's a good partnership.
Yeah,
right?
It is.
So he's contributing to the success of your business.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like he was at our movie event and he's like, I recognize these people, but I couldn't tell you their name. And I said, I know, babe. I know.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here to tell you the names and make sure they have the name tags on.
But he loves to support and do that stuff. But, it gets tiring sometimes, when you're doing that. But again, I've been a PTSO mom, a cheer mom. I love people. So that's why I do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so has that always been something, or was that the moment when you realized I love people and I love doing this?
Yeah.
So it didn't come naturally to you in your youth?
I've always been a very big socialite.
Okay.
And I love hanging with people. And I think everybody is different. And I find everybody so interesting. It's really a cool thing to see people grow and what they do. And but when I had kids, it totally flipped the switch. Then I wanted to do it for everybody, not just my core friends. So, yeah.
And as a real estate agent, when you start out in the business, you know everything you need to know to run a business and be successful, right?
No.
What? That little piece of paper and those 96 hours of education?
No.
So what are some things that you've learned along the way?
So this is a great question. So my daughter's boyfriend just got his license.
Oh, no way.
Yes. So we went out to our first Brokers Open yesterday, and it was awesome. He was like a deer in headlights. It was like, whoa, what am I supposed to do? So it's a lot of training. I think you would have to, I don't know. I was very lucky when I started in this business. I was a property manager before, so I took people from the apartments and put them in homes. Mm-hmm. So I had a good first year. But my second year wasn't so that great. That's the year I got pregnant, and I literally was sick the whole entire time. So it was really hard to get back into the swing of things and get back to getting in touch with those people, those clients, and they're not clients yet, it's really hard to get that. So real estate is not easy. Building a business is not easy.
Well, it looks easy on TV.
I know, it always does. Here we go. Yes, we could be the guy from the Ninja with the Coat, whatchamacallit. Sofia Vergara's show. Remember that show with the kids and Al Bundy? Yeah. Modern Family.
Yeah.
That's it. Yes. He was a real estate agent. He always made it look
easy. He is a realtor.
Yes. Yes.
That was really funny. Yeah, I love that episode.
Yeah. I'm like, the ninja, we have special skills. I love that because I'm like, I'm a ninja too.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I love that you mentioned that. So what does that mean, you're a ninja?
A ninja?
Yeah.
Okay. So, a ninja is training. We do a course in ninja, but it's that everybody matters. There's always something to it, So it's always like you want to give back and you want to follow up. You want to just do the best that you can. I love the Ninja program. I honestly do. I think it's one of the best training programs out there. So Kathy Green, before she passed, amazing woman, she was a ninja. Mm-hmm. You could tell everything, positive, gratitude, everything about her was ninja. I try to follow in those steps, but it's very hard.
Well, and I think Kathy was just a special human.
I know.
Mean, just
one of a kind.
She was born that way, and Ninja just really, it brought her next level.
Yeah.
But I mean, biggest heart, loved mentoring and coaching, loved helping
always
you guys.
Thankful, always had the abundance mentality.
Always had time for anyone.
Yes. And that's what Ninja is, basically. Yeah. So we have the abundance, there's enough for everybody. We want to help everybody. We want everyone to succeed. So
yeah. And with really nothing expected in return.
Right.
It's just putting more goodness out there.
Yeah.
And what's meant for me will come back.
Yeah.
Which I think is so cool.
And that's why I feel when I do my events too. It's like I want to do something for you guys because you guys do so much for me. So that's the type of mentality I have when I do those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so another thing that I have respected about you and the way you run your business is you are an advocate for your client.
Very much so.
You are on it. You stay on top of it. You're so passionate about that. And so has that always been something that you can look back and say, I've always been that way. I've always fought for my people and I've always protected my people. And so is that something that there was just a moment or?
No, you know what? I have always done that. It's like I'm very protective and I want the best for my clients and I want the best for my friends. I want the best for my family. So I'm going to do the best job that I possibly can to get that done for them. So again, like you said, I do advocate for my clients. I negotiate. I do the best deal, whatever, transaction for my client because they're important, and again, from the $1 million client to the $100,000 client, nobody's different.
Yeah.
So I want them all to be the same because, even those ones that are smaller, they're one of the most rewarding ones because you know what? When they decide to move up, it's like, okay, I'm going to sell my first condo. Yay, or I'm going to keep it as a rental. Mm-hmm. Can you rent it out for me? And let's go buy my family house because I'm getting married, Again, that goes with relationships. So, yeah, it's huge.
And I think one thing that is underutilized and you guys as real estate professionals can really help people with, it's building their investment. It's an investment. It's a portfolio. And there's a strategy that you guys can help them with to really maximize that return and look at it a little differently than just a place to live.
Absolutely.
And so what are some of the things that, if you can tell me maybe a scenario or a client story where you've done something like that you're just like, oh, this was the best?
So I had a client that wanted to move and then they wanted to buy an investment property. We ended up doing 2 of those same things within a year. So it was really cool. So, gosh, I don't remember when it was, maybe 2015, somewhere around there, when the market was like just getting ready to get hot, but we still had a really good pricing and interest rates were awesome. They bought their first investment property. The guy that they rented to has still been there since they bought it.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think they bought it for $125,000. Now it's worth like $350,000.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, and it was a small condo, like 1,500 square feet. So, they've made money on that equity. But then they wanted to go into a larger home and rent out the home that they were in. And they really weren't sure they wanted to do that because they loved the neighborhood so much. Mm-hmm. And actually, it's a really good friend of mine. So, it's like, well, we ended up finding their dream house, which was right by the high school where they wanted their kid to walk instead of have to go across a busy street, which was awesome. And then their house got rented, and I think we're going to end up putting on the market this July. End of the month. Yeah, maybe next month.
Yeah.
So they've got some stuff to do. But yeah, so now they have 3 properties that they can say, you know what? I've got an investment, another investment, and it's legacy for their kids, Mm-hmm. They could take money out of that. Or if it's paid off, they could buy something else. So, yeah.
And what is part of your, when you're meeting with someone for the first time?
Yeah.
And I'm going to take this back to when you were a baby real estate agent to now.
Yeah.
Has that consultation, has that evolved over the years?
Oh my gosh, yes. So when I started, I'm going to tell you this is so funny. It's like you would get the little printouts. You know what I'm talking about? The Plano sheets that's on the MLS. Mm-hmm. You'd print those out and you would just go through them. And it was like, okay, get in the car. We're going to look at these homes. There was never any buyer consultation. And now it's like we have to go through a whole bunch of stuff. I sit down with my client and I explain the whole process to them. We talk about compensation now. That was never a thing back in the day. It's like, oh, the seller always pays, no problem. Now you have to explain it, and you have to bring value and tell them, hey, this is what I'm going to do for you. Because they have no idea. They think you're just going to open the door for them like a door opener. They have no idea what goes on behind the scenes to get a house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so was there a moment in your career where you realized, I need to do more than just, here's the planos and off we go, let's get in the car?
Yeah.
Like, was there a moment, or was it an evolution over time?
It was an evolution, and I'm going to tell you that because because when times change with our industry, when they add stuff and, here we go, we're going to add this to the contract, or you're going to have to learn how to do this, or we're going to switch that over a lawsuit, blah, blah, blah. You have to evolve with that. And real estate is always evolving. So that's one of the things, you have to build into your basically repertoire.
Yeah. And so do you remember which class it was in real estate school where they taught you about what to include and do in your buyer presentation or your buyer consultation?
That wasn't included. They never tell you anything. No, I love that. No, you kind of have to it depends on where you go, where you work. Everybody does things a little bit differently. I have a great buyer consultation. I literally want them to know step by step, this is what we're doing. And here's the contract. This is what you're signing. This is what you're getting into. I want them to know everything. The more education I think it is, the easier it's going to be when we actually get in the field. So.
Yeah, and that's really powerful, too.
I think that's the number one thing, and I think a lot of people fail to educate their clients. So when we get into a deal, or if I'm on the other end as a listing agent, it's like I get these things, and I'm like, what the heck is this? And it's like, oh, new agent? No, it's just somebody who wasn't educated. They didn't know. So.
Yeah. And so is that, you said you have your package
I do.
For your process. Is that something that you've put together over time? Is that something that's provided to you?
Yeah, it's a package that I've put together over time, and the local title company will help with that.
Yes, we do sometimes. Yes, we do.
Yes, and you guys have like a buyer book, and then we have a seller's guide, a buyer's guide. Those are fantastic tools. I think everybody should have that and present that to their client. Exactly, here's what we're looking at. Here's what fees are. Here's what an escrow company does. Because a lot of people have no idea. They've never dealt with an escrow company.
Right.
They've dealt with an attorney. And there's a lot of differences between states. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that you touched on a really important part is it's so much bigger than just the real estate agent. Like, there's a team of people pulling together to make that happen.
Absolutely.
And so do you have people that you recommend? And then are your clients always open to your recommendations?
Yes and no. So I do have people I recommend. I actually have a vendor magazine that I put out, and I do it quarterly. It was monthly, but then it got too much, so now I do it quarterly. But these are like my favorite vendors. Here's who I have. And I always tell everybody, I said, you guys check these people out. Because, the internet is, I don't know, it could be a blessing. I'll say it's a blessing. But they can check everything out. Reviews, you guys, they go through reviews. I'm serious about it. They will look and say, oh my gosh, these people had the best reviews. We want to use these people. I like to give everybody options. But it's like, here's a couple of my favorites that I really like. But you check out everybody and see who you want to use, because everybody's different,
right?
And
what I love also about the way that you have, because I knew about that, and so that's why I wanted to make sure you brought that up, because I think it's very unique.
Yeah.
But you also reach out to those people, and you've created a community of people that support the community.
Absolutely.
And so talk about a few of the things that you do throughout the year that help to support the community and give back.
Yeah, so our office, I'm part of the Russ Lyon Foundation, and I'm very proud of that because I really love it. But we do a quarterly event every year. Every quarter. So we do 4 events a year. This year we did a shred-a-thon, which was really great, and it helped people that are transitioning from sex trafficking. So we collected for that. And it was very good. We got a lot of stuff. So I was happy about that. But we always pick a different charity and how we can locally give back. We do include our vendors. So I always ask for donations. And they're always happy to give. They always want to give back. And if they can't, they volunteer time, which is really great too. Like I have a home inspector. He's just one guy. But he comes out and supports every single time, every event. And he actually played Willy Wonka for one of my movie events.
That's awesome.
Yeah, took pictures with all the kids. It was really cool. So I like to get people involved, and I like to give back, and they like to do it too. You never know unless you ask. So yeah.
And I think that touches on something that's really powerful is we all want to connect.
Yeah.
And have community.
Yeah.
And you've created this group of people, and I think it's, from my perspective as an outsider looking in, you're in alignment with who you are and what's important to you, and you're attracting the people that have the same values and have the same kind of focus.
Well, I hope so.
and they love to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And you're creating a place for them to do that. And I just think it's amazing.
Thank you.
And so what are you looking forward to? Are there any other things that you're thinking of adding into your giving or repertoire, future business?
What? I like to participate in anything. Somebody will throw something at me and I'll be like, okay, I'll go do that. This year I think I'm going to do, my daughter's done with cheer. She graduated. So I think I'm going to try Rancho Feliz. I don't know. You've been to Rancho Feliz.
I have.
Yeah. I think that's going to be a big one we're going to do in January. So I'm going to check it out and see how that one is. So I'm going to try to add that one too. Again, different things, different people. But I still have my favorites like the Foster Alliance. I love them. We're doing backpack drive for them and school supplies. But Zoo Lights is my favorite of all. Yeah.
Why Zoo Lights?
Okay, so I've been doing Zoo Lights for my clients, and it just seemed to grow into this huge, massive, big collection, big get-together, big everything for the holidays. And it's one of my favorite events because my clients, I have a bunch of other agents in my office that participate, their clients, they all go in and have this great time. And we collect and give back to the Foster Alliance for the foster kids for their Christmas collection.
Yeah.
And it is one of the coolest events to be part of. The energy that you feel, and it feels like Christmas. It may be November, but it feels like Christmas. So it's a really cool thing. It was just me at the beginning. I'm doing client appreciation, but I think it evolved, like we said, evolution into something really cool and big. Yeah.
And so do you remember last year how many gifts you guys or toys or whatever that you guys ended up having give to Foster Alliance from your event?
Yeah, it was huge. We had 2 truckfuls, like the giant, big, moving trucks full of stuff. We had bikes, and I couldn't tell you how many toys. It was like a huge amount of stuff. I could not be more grateful to that. But this year, I think we're going to get my husband's company. They seem to be there every year, and they see what we're doing, and they're like, we want to be a part of that. And I'm like,
I love it.
Yeah.
See, again, creating ripples,
Yeah.
creating a bigger impact. That's awesome.
Yeah. I just think, I think everybody should feel, I don't know, I think giving back is just an awesome thing. And people who are less fortunate, it's like, okay, I want to help you guys. How can we do that as a community,
Yeah.
and see what we can bring. But as it grows, it just seems to be like, wow, huge.
Yeah.
And the vendors too. I got to tell you this. So this year I'm going to try to get the vendors in their offices to collect toys as well. So if they can't come out to the Zoo Lights, because unfortunately we're limited to that, but but I like them to do, if they can donate or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But their employees love to participate. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. That's awesome. And so, what is a client story that you think of where you really just rose to the occasion? Like everything was against you, everything was going the wrong way, it's going sideways, up, down, everywhere but forward, and where you just were able to rock it and get all the things and the pieces to come back together.
Okay, I'm in a situation now that is like crazy. I I'm the seller. I have the seller on my side, and the buyer and their buyer agent, smooth transaction all the way through till we get to the end. And the lender has messed up. Instead of seller compensation, they put seller concessions. And it was
Is there a difference?
Oh, yeah, there's a difference. So the buyer gets the seller concession from the seller for their closing costs, whatever they need.
So it's like a credit.
Yeah.
Like here, seller says buyer have a credit. Okay.
Yeah.
And then what's the other one?
The compensation is what you give to the agent. This is all negotiated. It's in the contract. Here we go. He misread it. Happens.
Yep.
I get it.
Yep.
But we're due to close. And that was Monday. Yeah. Didn't get caught by anybody except the title agency.
Yep.
And now we've been working through it. So I'm telling you, it's been a nightmare. But everybody's had to give up something on their end. But it's like constant communication, constant, how can we work through this? Let's get this deal done for these buyers. Because they're first-time home buyers, you know. It's really hard. You want to make their dream come true. And because someone made a mistake, we're not going to let you have the house? What? No.
Yeah. And that's really difficult because we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
I've been there. I've made plenty in my career. And just by putting a figure in one spot wrong on a system can completely derail it.
Correct.
And it's so important to have professionals that have navigated challenges.
But everybody's got to be a team player. When we have a problem, it's like everybody needs to come to the table and how are we going to get this solved?
Right.
And sometimes it's not a nice process, but we try to make it as nice as possible. So.
I love that. We really try to make it as nice as possible.
Just
That's
a little
awesome.
bit.
So when are you happiest outside of work? And I know real estate agents, you're always working. But like, what is it that brings you the most joy when you're not working?
Okay, so vacation. I look forward to it every year. I plan a big one for my family to go to, and that is my downtime. I'm not answering the phone. I have someone in the office take care of that. I am with my family. That is what I'm doing, and I'm enjoying. This year we're going to Cancun in October. I'm there for 11 days. Yes.
I love it. And have you always been able to do that, to go on vacation and disconnect?
No, absolutely not. Most of the time, if I'm going with my family to Kentucky, my husband's from Kentucky. That's where all the in-laws live, all the family lives. I am always on the computer, on the phone. Kathy Green said to me one day, she's like, Jean, turn it off. Just turn it off. Put it down. And I did one year, and it was the best vacation I had.
Yeah.
Best vacation I had. And I said, why didn't I do this last time? You know? And people will tell you they're afraid to watch my business. Kind of gets crazy sometimes, but I get all the weirdos for some reason. I don't know.
Well, I mean, look, we're not calling anyone weirdo.
No.
But we,
Weird situations.
It's the other side of the transaction.
Yes.
It's never your clients. They're the best. But no, I totally get that. And so the first time that you were able to let that go.
It was 5 years in my career.
Was that just easy? Like, just turn it off?
No. I would call all the time, and I'd be like, okay, what's going on with this? What's going on? Can you not call?
Like, we got you.
Yeah. It's like, enjoy your vacation type thing. But if there was ever a problem, I felt like, oh, my God, I have to get on a plane. My husband will tell you, literally, I've almost gone up to the airport and said, I got to go home. I've got to get home. And he's like, what are you doing? No. That type of thing.
So what is, if you can remember, what was a situation where you were like, oh no, I have to get on a plane, I have to leave vacation?
I think it was a walkthrough that one of my co-agents was doing for me, and I think it had to do with something with carpet, like the carpet, and I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to have to replace this carpet or do something. And it was such a nightmare, but it waited until I got back, and it was fine. So, things work itself out. I have learned that through this time that I've been in the industry. It will work itself out. We will do our best. Don't, if you're out of town, go enjoy yourself. You've got people that are capable of handling the situation. Plus your broker. I mean, there's always help.
It's kind of why they're there.
Yeah. But it's so hard to let go. It's so hard. I'm a control freak. It's like I want to get my hands in everything. Yeah. So I try to get it done before I go on vacation. That way I don't have to worry about it. Yeah. But things happen.
But you were finally able to let go.
Yes.
And not feel the need to check in.
Yes.
And so how long has that been for you?
How long has it been
that you've been able to just like actually turn it off and say, everything's going to be fine?
You know what? I'm going to tell you this honestly, probably in the last 7 years, I can actually say I honestly can do that. I'm not worried about it because I worry a lot about things. The dogs, this, that, the other. But when you can finally just switch it off, it is so nice to just decompress and then come back. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
And so when you're happiest, when you're with family, on vacation, I mean, who doesn't love vacation, especially without the phone and the emails?
I'm happiest with my dogs. I'm happiest with my family. I'm happiest with my friends. I'm pretty happy most of the time, but yeah, it's, some days is rough.
Yeah. And what is it? So if you find yourself in one of those days where it's like, oh, this is a tough one.
We're going to the bar.
I mean, we are after this.
Yeah.
But I was going to ask, like, what is it that you turn to motivate yourself, to keep yourself in the game? Because you got to keep your mind right, especially when you're dealing with these clients. And you've always, from, again, my perspective, you've always been able to stay focused and stay in the game. Sometimes it's so scary. Like, I know when I was a baby escrow officer, I did not want, like, I'm not picking up the phone. I don't want to call people. It's bad news. And so what have you done in that process to really, like, what do you do to keep yourself in the game?
Okay, I have a great support team. My support has been fantastic. Like, I have a couple of agents that I call every day, and we, I don't know what you want to call it, go back and forth and say, this is how we're going to do it, or, give them different scenarios. Or, hey, I'm having a really crappy day. Talk to me for a minute. Yeah. Those type of things. So that's the biggest thing you need when you need to be motivated. You have to have a great support, and I do, which I'm very fortunate about.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so one last question, and then we're going to wrap up.
Yeah.
If you could give baby real estate agent Jean as she's starting out, or maybe even, young agents that are starting out.
Yeah.
Some advice that you wish you knew when you had started, what would that be?
Don't be so serious about it. Honestly, don't be so serious about it. It will work itself out. There's always something, and it's never a failure. Honestly, it's never a failure to have something fall out of escrow or do something like that. Because when I first started, if I lost a deal, I literally was so hard on myself. Don't be hard on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. It will work itself out. And then it's never smooth sailing, but you make it that way in your mind. Once you get settled, it'll be a good thing.
All right.
Yeah.
Any other things you want to share that are going on in your life that you want people to know where they can find you?
Oh, yeah. If you guys want to check me out, I am at Jean Grimes, 123 on Instagram. And then my Facebook page is Jean Grimes, East Valley Realtor.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's JEAN GRIMES.
Yes.
Just in case. So,
Christin,
all right.
This has been fantastic. I absolutely adore you. This
awesome.
has been great.
I adore you too. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes. Thanks.
All right. And with that, we're going to wrap up the episode. So thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next time. And in the meantime, be kind to each other and yourselves. Thanks for joining me on Chasing North. If today's conversation resonated with you, I'd love it if you'd share the episode, leave a review, or pass it along to someone who'd be inspired. Until next time, keep chasing alignment, trust your path, and remember, your value is non-negotiable.